Okay, hello everyone. Happy hump day, happy Wednesday. This is Kelly Dahlbach talking today about how to stop sabotaging yourself from pursuing your passion. I know we had a great chat last week on how to replace your corporate six-figure income by starting your own business. And this was another topic that came up and comes up a lot, honestly, when I'm talking to individuals that are curious and learning if entrepreneurship is right for them, if their corporate job is going to keep them trapped forever, if they just have to stay here until I retire. What are some of those self-sabotaging beliefs that we tell ourselves? So if you want, we'll type in the notes, send me a question. I'll be happy to answer as we're going through. I do have my whiteboard here today, so I'll be trying to utilize that along with, I have PowerPoint slides that I'll actually put attached to the video when I upload it to the Facebook group. So, all right, cool. Well, let's get started. The 3 goals for today's lesson is number 1, understand when you're self-sabotaging, right? Like, how can I stop doing something I don't even know what I'm doing, or I don't know how to call it out, I don't know how to label it. So improve your self-awareness and know when you're doing it, number 1. Number 2, identify ways to correct your self-sabotage behavior, right? Okay, I'm telling you to increase your awareness, know when you're doing it, call your own self out. Number 2, we want to know how to correct it. Number 3, commit to taking one step or one action in correcting it and allowing yourself and your passion to gain power. So 1, identify. 2, correct. And 3, take action. So when talking about self-sabotage, a story really comes to mind. When I was in my corporate career for, 15 years, seems sometimes longer, sometimes seems like 5 years, depending on the day. But as I reflect back on it and I think about self-sabotage, something that comes to mind was in June 2019, actually. I was looking forward to a trip of a lifetime with no kids, with my husband, with 4 other couples, and we were going to the U.S. Virgin Islands. Everything was planned. Grandma and Grandpa were coming. The kids were all taken care of. We had excursions, sailboats, all of these different things planned for 4 months. Granted, I made this commitment, requested the vacation 4 months in February. And lo and behold, 1 week before I'm going on this trip, we were going through some interesting things at our corporation, but required a lot of high attention and high authority meetings on short notice. And I knew it. My stomach dropped, and I saw the phone ring, and I knew at that time that I wasn't going to be able to go. And at that moment, I was just gobsmacked that I am 15 years into my career. I encourage everyone to take their power and, make decisions outside of what they believe they are creating. But the reality was I had been, empowered in my own truth and my own self to call myself out. I was like, Kelly, you did this. Whether or not it was the last straw, I at that point, I took responsibility. I took responsibility for telling my husband there's no choice. I took responsibility for putting my personal life and my dreams and my vacations on hold. And I knew at that time, nobody was doing this to me. I was deciding to do this. And so that's something for me that came up and that continues to come up when I think about self-sabotage. The stories are real, guys. I've been there. I've done that. And I'm hoping that I can help you learn and identify so that together, you can work through it. So first, what is self-sabotage, right? I want you guys to help identify and know when it's going on in your life. Well, self-sabotage refers to a behavior or a thought that is in direct conflict with your goal. So you have a thought and you have your goal. And this thought stops the action, right? So whether it's, I am supposed to get up and work out, meet my accountability partner at the gym this morning, you text them and say you're not feeling well. That thought, whatever that thought is stopping your progress motion. You want to work out. You want to go to the gym. There's something in you that is stretching. You are self-sabotaging yourself by allowing yourself to get out. You're blocking yourselves from your goals, and you're getting in your own way. Self-sabotage most commonly shows up in a variety of ways, but most commonly it's making excuses, like I just said. It is fear of failure and unfulfilling work, financial troubles, perfectionism. If I'm not gonna show up 100%, I shouldn't show up at all. Resistance to change, but it's all of those things, really. And it's important that you identify and understand with them, because one of them should resonate with you. And the one that sticks out for me is like, I wanted this life of freedom. I wanted out, right? But I wanted my cake and eat it too, right? However that saying goes. I wanted to have the freedom of an entrepreneur, but I was like, write a business plan, give up my 6-figure salary and make strides to starting something new. It's like, I dreamed of this, I wanted it, but I had to force myself to take a step, take a change, because one step builds onto another step, builds onto another step. And the crazy part is that it's your higher self, guys, that is leading you to that change. It is you. You are the creator of your own reality. So it's not someone in your head telling that you should go for it. It is your gut. It is your intuition. It is your higher self. It is your soul. It is whatever you want to call that voice inside of you. It's you. And that is your guidance to learn more and to follow. You are being stretched. You're being called to do more, be better. And so I will tell you, you can only quiet that voice for so long, because that voice gets louder and louder and louder. So embrace it and take baby steps towards learning more about what it is that you're trying to achieve. So those are ways, habits, thoughts that self-sabotage can show up in your daily life. But let me give you some really specific examples of how self-sabotage may show up in stopping you from pursuing your passion. So let's say in the back of your mind, you're in this group, you're listening to this talk, and you already know, I'm super passionate about animal shelters. I'm super passionate about creating a safe place for kids with dyslexia. I'm super passionate about, gosh darn it, a inclusive work environment. And it's back there already. You know it. It's back there. So you found your passion and you convince yourself that you can't make a business of it. That is the number one way that you are self-sabotaging yourself from pursuing your passion, is that you already know it. You know your idea and you discount it. You say, it's no good. My idea is no good. Number 2, you compete with your coworkers to prove that you're too valuable for the company to lose. You say, well, I'd love to leave, but the company would go to shit without me. Guys, that's not true. You're self-sabotaging yourself to make yourself feel overvalued. That is your ego talking, and I'm going to call you out on it, right? You're competing to say, and I can hear somebody laughing. You're competing to say, I am most valuable, and gosh, the world will just fall apart if I leave. So 1, you know your idea. 2, your ego boost your value. Number 3, you look at your paychecks to justify your value. Again, it's a psychology move to say, I'll never make this as an entrepreneur. I can't walk away. I take care of my mom, I take care of my dad, I take care of my kids, I take care of my dog, I take care of my neighbors. They all rely on me and this paycheck. I could never leave. So you put your value in your paycheck. Number 4, you give your power away for others to decide your role and responsibilities, because ultimately you don't know where to go. Guys, I see this all over social media, all over, things that people, when I speak with people and I say, what do you really want to do? They say, I don't know. I was looking at this job description. I kind of want to do that. And I want to do a little bit of that. But I know I could never create an opportunity that has this, and this together. That is you trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. Guys, allow yourself to be the square peg and create a square hole. Don't be the square peg in the round hole. Know that you are unique and you are authentic and your value is there. But don't allow yourself to be trapped by these job descriptions or these identities. So know your power and deliberately decide your role. This is fitting, square, in a circle. Is like that one. Okay, you question the quality of work, waiting for a reply to your email. How many times, did I send an email and like wait for the feedback in the comments, whether it was from a lawyer, whether it was from my boss, whether it was from compliance? I was like, I sent it and I immediately thought, okay, what did I do wrong? It's like I have all of these people to please, and who's going to call me out on different things? So you constantly check your work. Or your perfectionism is really what it is. No such thing as perfect, guys. It's one of the first values and first skill sets I ever taught my kids, is there's no such thing as perfect. Perfect is in the eyes of the beholder. So don't allow yourself to get trapped in that perfectionism. The next one is saying, this is just how it is, and being okay. How many years did I say, this is corporate life? I'm lucky to have a great paying job, a beautiful family, a lifestyle that I enjoy in terms of just, the things, the material things, the trips, those types of things. But I just say, this is the cost. This is the cost. Well, guys, there is no cost to the value of your life. The value of your life is pursuing things that you're passionate about. And so you settling for status quo is a huge sign that you're self-sabotaging yourself from pursuing your passion. Last one. Fear of missing out on a late email. I made up my FOMO. FOMO-E. F-O-M-O-E. F-O-M-O-E. You guys know what that is? It's fear of missing out on late email. That's a real thing. Who checks their email in bed? Who checks their email when they wake up in the middle of the night? Who checks their email first thing in the morning? Guys, that's a fear of missing out and insecurity that you are, again, self-sabotaging yourself to find where you are comfortable. I am comfortable talking about this topic to you all. I'm not trying to be somebody that I'm not. So when you fear that you're missing out or making someone upset, you're not truly in your passion. Because when you're in your passion, guys, the fear shows up in different ways. It shows up in stretch goals. It shows up in, figuring out how to go live on Facebook. It shows up in different ways. But the fear and preaching your message and being confident behind what you stand for is not there when you're pursuing your passion. All right, so next I want to talk about ways to correct the self-sabotage. Anyone have any aha moments in that? If we're being honest with ourselves, right? We're all here to get better. We're all here to learn. Anyone have any aha moments on, yep, that's me? Okay. So next I'm going to talk about how to correct it, right? Kelly, call me out, tell me that I do this, and now how do I correct it? Well, first you have to identify what you want. So I'm going to put this in green, right? Because now we're moving to action. Goal. Guys, and it doesn't have to be, I need to leave my corporate job and start a new business. It has to be something feasible, something doable. I want to create more new clients, so I'm going to make 10 sales calls today. Identify what it is that you want and start setting goals. If you don't know what you want, you sure as hell can never get there. Number 2, recognize your pattern. So we all know that we've wanted something for probably more than 5 months, 2 months, a year, right? It's probably not the first time you're like, I'm interested in learning if I could really do this. What stops you from doing that? Let me tell you, I did it too. There's comfort in knowing that we're all human. We all have habits that we want to correct. But let's not go to the other extreme and say, hey, it's cool to self-sabotage, right? Because it's commonplace too to say, hey, thought about leaving my job. And then I was like, oh man, my husband would totally kill me. I was on a diet, but I decided, my girlfriend would be so upset if I didn't really splurge at her birthday party. Guys, those are self-sabotaging things. It's trading who you want to be authentically for what you believe someone else wants. It's back in that cycle of giving your power away. Recognize your pattern. So those were examples of patterns. Number 2, understand you're not broken. Guys, you're not broken. What you're feeling, feelings are normal. What you're feeling is normal, and it got you here. And wherever it gets you after here is where you're supposed to be. So you are not broken. If you are tuning into your emotions, you're following them, that's exactly where you're supposed to be. So give yourself grace and give yourself gratitude for showing up and doing the things that you are doing to continue to grow in your life. Accept failure as an opportunity to learn. Put fail and learn. Guys, it's so important to embrace, and it's not easy. It's not easy coming from someone who is a recovering perfectionist, to embrace failure and take it as an opportunity. But as an entrepreneur, I've recognized and realized you got to get up way faster than I ever had to get up in my corporate life. But you know what? I'm also not explaining my mistake to 700 people. I am owning it, taking it on, getting up and trying again. So realize that failure is not the end of the world. And if it feels like it's the end of the world, guys, those aren't your people, because your people are the people that pick you up and help you get back on your feet again. So fail and learn. Next is ask for help. I'm laughing because I know how much I have invested in myself and how many coaches, counselors, mentors, partners, coaches I have invested in. And it's way more than any of my professional educations, guys, because I recognize and realize we are all human, and everything that we have to do and want to achieve our goals is up here, and we need help doing that. Have you ever tried to coach yourself? I mean, I do it sometimes, but have you ever really tried to get yourself out of your own predicament? No, you probably call that good friend. You probably maybe call a therapist. You maybe talk with a spouse. I mean, it's whoever that person is that listens, that accepts, does not judge, and listens. And you guys, we cannot heal and we cannot grow without that. So ask for help. And if you need an ear, DM me. I will listen. I will be the ear that you need just to get it off your chest, because until we get out whatever we need to get out and say and experience and feel all the emotions, the good, bad, and the ugly, it will just sit there in the pit of your stomach and you won't be able to move through it. So ask for help, get help. We all need it. The last one is support someone else, right? It feels so good. Guys, if I go in like a coaching dip where I'm doing all different kinds of things and I'm not doing what I love, I will reach out. I will give away free sessions. I will do whatever I can, because helping others feeds my soul. But it doesn't feed my soul because I'm a coach. It feeds my soul because I'm human. We are meant to help each other, and we are meant to build each other up. And I promise you, giving a random act of kindness or helping someone else will immediately fuel you to continue to pursue your passion. So help others. Okay, so we've gotten through 2. Do you self-sabotage? Any of those things resonate? Yourself. Do you feel trapped by that? Do you recognize it? Now, I'm going to ask you a question in all seriousness, because this is the one that makes life changes, or this is the one that keeps you trapped. Do you wish to remain in the same place, or do you wish to create a new place? That is the difference of the people that will change and the people that will not change. And I say that because, guys, whatever circumstance we're creating, whether it's negative or positive or good or bad, that is our choice. But I want you to realize and take back the power to choose. It is your choice to stay where you are, or it is your choice to do something to move forward. So if you said, hopefully you all did, that you're ready to move forward, I want to ask you, what is one thing that you can do this week based on some of the examples that you can do to move forward? Number one, this is my favorite, deal with the fear. Who wants to put a good or bad on fear? Woo! Sorry. I do. I want to judge it. I want to say it's horrible. But I know better now. Fear has a place in our lives. And again, it is part of our moral compass, my moral compass, when I'm having fear, to explore it. Is it pointing me over here? Is it telling me more of what I do want? Telling me more about what I don't want? Or is it telling me just to feel it, appreciate it, or embrace it? You know, I tell my kids a lot, you know, when they're crying or whining or complaining, get on the floor, kick it out, right? Sometimes it makes them laugh quicker than anything when I throw a tantrum with them, because you have to embrace it. So realize that fear is telling you something. So you can embrace it. You can write down the positive affirmations. I will tell you, my biggest fear in leaving my corporate job was that I will never make the six figures as a business owner. My affirmation that was on my wall, on my closet, on all over. You'd be surprised how many stick notes float around my house. I make monetary gain beyond my wildest dreams in pursuing my passion. That's my affirmation. That is taking my control back over that fear. That fear allowed me the opportunity to be open to create something new. So whatever you're telling yourself, change it. Change it to, I am brave enough to take chances. I can handle anything that comes my way. My setbacks make me stronger, and I am strong and powerful. So embrace your fears, create affirmations. The next is imagine the worst case scenario. Guys, have you ever played this? Like, what's the worst thing that could happen if you don't make that meeting? What's the worst thing that could happen if that person doesn't like your email tone? You learn something about yourself, right? But really, what's the worst thing that we can happen? We've spent the last 18 months closer to the feeling of mortality than any other time in known to humankind. Guys, the worst case scenario, we all know what that is. And it's likely not what you're dealing with in terms of what you're struggling with or what you're sabotaging yourself over. So imagine the worst case scenario. And sometimes even when you say it out loud, like I could get fired, the exact opposite happens and you get promoted. As soon as you put it out there and you say, this could happen, you take back control to say, okay, whew, that's out there, it's not going to happen. You decide to choose something different. Next, visualize success. So how do you visualize? Guys, stay tuned in my group because I'm going to be doing some visualization exercises. Let me show you. I create vision boards every year. I do them with my kids, my husband. And I want to actually create vision boards that people can purchase and make sense out of, and we can do collectively this year. But my vision board, guys, I did this in January. You see it? Sorry. Here was my inspiration for my logo. Here is my goodbye HQ, hello anew. Guys, I hadn't even filed my LLC when I made this. I hadn't even remotely really thought that I was going to start my own business. Well, obviously I thought it. I visualized it. I put it on paper. Reevaluate your life goals. Fresh perspective. Magic is real. Those are all things that I preach. I love. Kindness is cool. If you guys have read any of my blogs lately, breathe and self-care. So what I have left to do is I have to swim with some manatees. I got to get that done this year. And, I did remodel my bedroom set. Got to get to a football game. We've done camping. My point is, though, guys, is that visualization makes your dreams a reality without doing the hard work. Because you walk into that place where your vision board is. And your mind doesn't know that it's not real. It sees it and it starts attracting like thoughts to that creation. So by putting it in your vision, again, your mind will work with you rather than against you. So visualize. It's huge. I believe in it. I do it once a week. Close my eyes and I think about the life I want to create. And I can see the people, I can smell the things, I can hear the laughter, I can feel the joy. I can even sometimes put like where I'm going to be. Costa Rica is a place that I want to spend more time in the future. And I've been there twice in the last 3 months, and I'm creating it, I'm visualizing it, I'm believing it. And all of those things are totally doable things, but you don't learn them in a textbook. And I think that's part of what the big challenge is in creating your own business is we're so hardwired in our society to learn it in a textbook. It hasn't been done before. It can't be done. And I am empowered and fueled by creativity, innovation, and all of you and your amazing ideas. So embrace the fear. Join a group on social media. That's the other thing. By all means, if this group isn't like igniting your guys' passion or like really enjoying the content and learning something, please take your attention and go somewhere else, because you deserve to feel the fuel that we all have inside of us when we are aligned with our passion. So go find it. Go find people that are like-minded. Go find people that have similar interests, and you will be wildly surprised at what opportunities appear when you submerge yourself in a network of people that have similar goals and similar passions. So that's really it for today, guys. That was my topic on how to stop self-sabotaging yourself. I will put the notes and the PowerPoints into the Facebook group, and I really appreciate you guys today. So talk to you guys next week.